Alright, hi there and welcome to week 14. So we're going to have a short video today, short video this week. Won't take up too much time of your holiday week. Uh, Basically what we're going to do is a quick overview of what's coming up for the end of the semester. And just as a word for you, word of warning, next week is going to be entirely final exam stuff. I'm actually going to go over the final exam review information again. We're going to kind of consolidate both of our previous elements of the final exam prep into next week's lecture. So it will be both the packet overview and it will be the final exam question overview. All right. So this week, though, since it's a holiday week, I'm going to keep it short for you. We're going to just do some quick housekeeping for this lecture, and then that'll be it. So, as I mentioned, we're approaching the end of the semester rapidly. Next week is the final class week of the semester. As such, it's getting down to the wire in terms of deadlines for the class assignments, and we are approaching finals week. Okay? So, today I want to talk about all the assignments that are coming up due. We're going to simply be going through the remaining assignments and deadlines in the class, as well as tips on what to do to possibly improve your grade. Okay, some folks have been needing this. All right, so take the advice that I'm going to give you here to heart. This is something that you can do to try to help yourself. Now, one thing to keep in mind, there is a big caveat to any improvements for grades. If you are too far behind, it is probably going to be impossible to gain a passing grade within the constraints of the time left in the semester. Okay, if you are in that circumstance, it's going to behoove you to probably contact me and let me know what's going on, and we can try to arrange something to help you get through at least to the point where we can issue you a continuance or some kind of interim grade so that you can finish up what you need to do. Now, the impetus is, though, that you are going to have to finish it up. Okay, if you do not finish it up within the time period that I give you, if we make that kind of arrangement, if you don't finish it up within a reasonable amount of time, then there's really going to be no salvaging the grade. Okay, so only if you are serious about passing, and you are too far behind and having trouble, if you had some hardships or anything like that, let me know. So first off, let's talk about the weekly discussion topics. There's going to be one more topic posted this week. It's going to be the last topic of the semester, bringing the board to a total of 14 topics. It's one per week from the start of the semester up until the present. Now, a number of you have been posting regularly to the discussion board, and for that I do appreciate your participation. Okay, thank you very, very much for that. It's a lot better than I've done in semesters past. Okay? Now, those of you who have not, though, you will need to post to the board at some point. Okay? In order to count toward the grade for the discussion board, though, here's one thing. You must post a response with a minimum of 3 paragraphs. Okay? And they have to be 3 paragraphs of a reasonable length. I don't want you submitting a 3-sentence post where each sentence is forming its own paragraph. Okay? Your posts have to have three reasonable paragraphs, and they should be articulating your response to the topic. Okay? The grade for the discussion board is based on how many topics you've responded to by the end of the semester. And again, the minimum for those responses, it has to be 3 reasonable paragraphs. Okay? Those are the posts that count toward the grade. Anything shorter than that does not count. Okay? So keep in mind, the more topics you post a full response to, the better your grade will be. Okay? The discussion topic board locks on December 4th. That is a hard deadline. Okay? No additional posts may be made after that time. If you have not posted up until that point, then you're going to kind of be out of luck if you miss that deadline. Okay? So December 4th is the firm dead dog date on that. As of this slide shows writing, now I'm writing this a couple weeks in advance here, so this is November 16th, okay, where I'm writing this. Currently, on the discussion board, there's 13 topics available, and there will be a 14th posted this week, okay? And I should note that by this week, I mean is the week you're watching this, okay? So, The Just as a quick overview of what the topics are, this should be familiar to you if you've been attending the Collaborate sessions, because every 3 weeks I've been going through the most recent 3 topics on the discussion board. If you have missed those Collaborate sessions, this will be a quick overview of what we're talking about in each of these discussion topics. Okay. Week 1 was students getting cheated. This was involving the British exams, and the students that were getting cheated out of college admissions because of differences between their teachers' assessments of the grades and the algorithm that was created to give virtual grades on exams that they didn't take. Okay. Week 2, remembering Chadwick Boseman, strictly about the actor. Part of it was about how he kept his cancer diagnosis secret. Week 3, Mulan and the film industry shifting model. This was about films going direct to streaming during the pandemic, and Mulan's choice to go directly to the Disney Plus streaming service at a premium. Okay. Number 4, for a sports risk reward quandary. This was about the bubbles that were formed for the NBA and the NHL to complete their 2019 seasons, or 2020 seasons rather, and in regards to other sports starting up, such as the NFL, Major League Baseball, later on college sports. Okay. Week 5, wildfire storms and the climate. This was dealing with the rampant wildfires that were taking place, and I believe still are taking place on the West Coast, as well as the increased storm activity, the stronger and stronger hurricanes, and more of them. As an addendum to that, I should note that we are currently awaiting landfall on Hurricane Iota, which is the furthest we've ever gone through the Greek alphabet in a storm system. And consider that this is only the second time we've had to go to Greek letters to name storms. Okay. Number 6, fighting hate through creative means. This was about a wardrobe company who discontinued a shirt for sale in North America because it had become associated with the Proud Boys. And it dealt with a lot of other similar instances where extremist groups had taken on symbols, and the original owners of those symbols, had to do something about it. Week 7, Banned Books Week. This was dealing with the yearly American Library Association Banned Books Week. Number 8, Week 8, Columbus versus Indigenous Peoples. This was in regards to Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Day. Okay, and the debate over who, if anything, if anyone, the holiday should be commemorating. Number 9, social media and YouTube as springboard. This is about social media creating celebrities. Week 10, a Halloween trick for you. This was the special Halloween topic where we were talking over where we had some mystery links that you had to react to. Okay. Week 11, election meddling. This dealt with the online elections and the trolling of online polls, specifically centered on the serial vote from 2004 in South Korea between Cheki and Chaka, which resulted in this year the Kellogg Company putting out green onion flavored Chex in South Korea. Week 12, a fitting memorial to Alex Trebek. This is regarding the cultural impact of Alex Trebek and his run on Jeopardy, and also talking over what the show's going to do without him, how they're going to move on. Okay. Week 13 was just posted last week. The strange and dangerous practice of breatharianism. This one's kind of a weird one. This involves a New Age practice of trying to absorb your nutrients from sunlight, okay, and air. In fact, let's take a look at that topic, since this is not going to be one that gets talked about in Collaborate. All right, so here we are at the Week 13 post, okay? So Week 13, again, the strange and dangerous practice of breatharianism. Your discussion for this week. There have been, over the course of modern history, a number of cultish practices that have gained acclaim, fame, or popularity, not necessarily within the bounds of good sense. Among these is the idea of breatharianism, the practice of trying to convert the body to function exclusively on solar energy without food. There have been many practitioners of this dietary idea, most of which from the later part of the 20th century onward. As a matter of fact, originates from the mid 1970s. The practice most recently made headlines in 2013 when Navina Shine, a woman living in Seattle, documented her own experiment living on a breatharian diet for a stated goal of 100 days. While there were supporters leaving encouraging messages to her videos, Navina's videos mainly drew comments from YouTube users begging her to stop, even going so far as threatening to report her videos to YouTube for showing what they felt was Navina's slow suicide. For your discussion this week, talk about your reaction to this practice. How much do you trust the advocates of the practice? One suggestion. One of the sources this week is a page from Snopes about the practice, so answer this question prior to reading the Snopes page. How can those impacted by the breatharian fad be assisted, whether continuing their lifestyle or breaking them away from it? Okay. We have 4 sources listed here for this topic. First one is what actually made me give you this topic. It is a YouTube video that was posted just in October from a channel called Atrocity Guide. The Strange World of Breatharianism. I will let you know that that's a very long video. It's about 51 minutes long, but it is extremely informative and shows you a lot of the stuff that's going on in regards to this practice. And gives you a good explanation of it as well. Then we have an article from Bravo. Breatharians claim to survive by eating air instead of food, and people believe them. One thing I should note, there is actually one very well-known celebrity who at one point was a breatharian, and that would be Michelle Pfeiffer, the actress. Okay, so that's that second source. The third source, New York Daily News. Seattle woman stops eating and goes breatharian for 5 weeks in an attempt to survive only on sunlight and air. Okay, and then the fourth one is from Snopes. Okay, oh excuse me, the headline is attempt to survive on water and light. Okay, and then the Snopes article is titled "Do Breatharians Survive Without Food and Water?" It is a fact check site. Okay, it's a fact check page, so keep that in mind as you're reading it. All right, and as I said, week 14, as of taping this, has not been determined yet. I will be determining that when I get there. Okay, week 14 is going to be the last topic. Okay. That will give you an ample amount of time to get your responses in on that last topic, and also to catch up on any that you may have not responded to yet. Now, as a reminder, you need to respond to the post with a 3-paragraph response. The number of topics you respond to will determine your grade for the discussion board. Okay. Pretty much, if you have a 3-paragraph response in the topic, it's going to count. You'll be graded as having completed it. Okay, you have to do all 14 to get 100% for that particular grade, part of the grade rather. Okay, any less that you do, it's going to be whatever percentage. It's going to be based on whatever percentage of them you have completed. All right, next up is Mindtap. Okay, so some folks have been asking me about this. Some people have been asking about which assignments need to be done in it, when it's due, whether they can get extension on it. Here's the thing. I cannot give you an extension on this because A, it's an outside source, and B, you've had all semester to work on it. Okay? The Mindtap exercises are a good chunk of your grade, and as such, you need to complete the exercises there. Okay? I did tell you at the start of the semester, they are mostly self-paced. However, you do have a deadline. You should have been completing exercise throughout the semester, as it is self-paced and all the exercises are auto-graded. The ones that count towards your grade are going to be ones that you will have results on immediately. Okay? The grade for Mindtap will appear in the gradebook based on your Mindtap total score. Grades in the gradebook are weighted based on the percentages given in the syllabus. Okay? So whatever percentage each segment of the grade is worth, that's how much it's going to count toward your grade. Okay? You won't be able to see the weighting in the gradebook, but you can refer back to the syllabus for that. Now, Mindtap also locks on December 4th, so you must complete the exercises in Mindtap prior to this date in order to achieve the best possible grade. So, December 4th, you need to finish up on Mindtap. Also, keep in mind that any counts toward grade exercises that are not attempted are counted against your score by Mindtap's system. Okay? So, you need to complete as many of those count toward grade exercises as possible. Okay? In order to get the best grade possible. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the analysis synthesis essay. You should be working on this right now. In fact, this week is going to be the revision workshop. Okay? As much as you can do around the holiday, you need to do the revision workshop for it. As a reminder, your analysis synthesis topic should have been generated from one of two sources. Either your topic is either choosing a blog post from the team blog project and expanding on it. So the blog post itself is going to be the origins of your topic, and you're just going to be expanding on it and doing an analysis of the topic, finding a research question in that topic and doing analysis in this essay based on that. Or you're choosing a discussion board topic from weeks, I've said 1 through 10, it's 1 through 11, but there's only really 10 usable topics within that. And doing analysis and research on an element of the topic. Okay? So again, it requires you to come up with a research question. Something that you can work with in order to create a suitable analysis and to find sources to synthesize from. Okay? As you do revision workshopping on this essay, one thing I want you to keep in mind is are the following that are parts of your grade. Okay? This is stuff that people are tending to neglect, I'm noticing in a lot of the papers. So, one of them is detail. How much about the subject is presented in the essay? Is it enough that an uninitiated reader will understand what's being discussed? How deep does the analysis of the subject go? Okay? So, the detail here is basically, how much are you telling us about this subject? Are you leaving anything out? Is there stuff that is, it has to be stuff that's related to your subject matter, okay? Related to your research question in regards to the subject, okay? Are you giving us enough information that we can judge whether you're synthesizing and analyzing it enough, okay? Next is readability. How comfortable is it for a general reader to read? How much of the essay is fully understandable from the viewpoint of an uneducated reader? So, this mainly comes down to how easy is it for an average reader to understand what you're trying to say. People get hit on readability if they have trouble with formatting, if they have not used paragraph breaks, if they are using excessive sentence length, or a lot of run-on sentences. In addition to the grammar spelling mechanics, it also hurts readability. If they have a lot of terminology that's specialized for the subject matter and it is not clear to the reader what that means, okay, that's going to cause discomfort for the reader. It's going to hurt readability. The other thing is focus. How well does the essay stay on topic and focus on the research question, and how far does the writer digress? Are you staying on topic? Are you staying focused on what you are trying to say, what it is that you are trying to analyze? Are you staying within the range of the topic, within reason? Okay? So this week is the revision workshop. That's the stuff you should be focusing on. In addition to the subject and whether they're doing a good job with analyzing it, if they've got a good research question, if they got a good thesis, so on and so forth. Next week's going to be the proofreading and editing workshop. Now, at the end of next week, the essay will be due. The end of next week also is December 4th. Okay? So this is number 3 that's due on that date. Okay? Now, normally I give you some leeway in terms of turning it in late. However, I cannot do that this time around. You will only be allowed to turn in this essay until December 10th to receive credit for it. Okay? December 10th is the absolute last day I can accept anything for grading. Okay? Once December 10th is passed, I'm not going to accept it. Here's the last slide of this show for this week. Okay? And this is going to be involving corrections of past work. Now, you do have an opportunity to improve your grade through improvements to your past work for the class. In the case of this class, that means performing corrections on the scholarship analysis essay. Okay? You might be asking how you can do that. Well, the main thing you want to do is look at combination of your classmates' notes from the workshops and also the notes that I left on your draft, if I left any. Okay, so I know sometimes I'm bad about that and I don't leave notes sometimes. But a lot of people, yes, I did leave notes. I did tell you there were certain things that needed to be fixed. When I give you my comments on it, there's notes in the paper. There's also notes outside of the paper. When I give you the score breakdown, I also usually have some kind of commentary that tells you what is missing, what needs improvement, some other elements that might have helped your grade. Okay? So check against the notes that I give you. I would also recommend you allow others to read the corrected essays for the purposes of proofreading. Okay? So let other people look at your work, other people in your household, maybe the person you selected as your exam proctor. Okay? Let them take a look at it. Allow them to read them, give your feedback, alter things accordingly. Okay? If you choose to make corrections to the essay, make sure you are able to turn them in by December 4th. Okay? On Monday of this week, I will be reopening the assignment so that you can turn in additional attempts. Okay? One other thing to note here, if you're afraid of this, the revised versions are not going to incur the late penalty. Okay? And that's even if you turned in the original one late. Okay? I am going to be forgiving on this. If you turn in a corrected version of it, I will remove any late penalties that I incurred previously. Okay? The thing is, though, it has to be substantially different than the one that you originally turned in. Otherwise, I will not be happy. Alright, so as I said, this is a short one for this week. The main things on your to-do list right now, analysis synthesis essay, do the workshopping on it. Keep going with the weekly discussion board. Keep going with Mindtap. As I mentioned, they all have the due date of December 4th. Number 4, if you're going to do any corrections, go ahead and make those corrections. That also has a December 4th due date. There will be no Collaborate session this week. I'm going to let you guys enjoy your holiday. And we'll come back again next week with the final exam and class wrap-up. And we'll also do one last Collaborate session next week for you guys before finals week. All right, so with all that said, thanks for watching. Enjoy your holiday.